Welcome to Guthrie Sports Page Television. Chris Evans with the head coach of the Guthrie Blue Jays, Coach Rafe Watkins. And, Coach, a lot of stuff to get to this week, but I guess first thing, the big news is the game with Capitol Hill on October 31st, Halloween night, has now been moved to Jelsma Stadium.
Yeah, it is going to be a home game now. We were going to have to go down there on that Friday night, but we made some conditions that they liked, and they're going to come to Jelsma for Friday night. And there's going to be other announcements to it. We're going to have some things for the kids, some trick-or-treating at the Rock, and some different things that we're going to have for little promotional deals, and so it should be a good time.
We'll talk about that more as the weeks come closer. But, Coach, go to Ardmore last week, 34-0. And we've had some games in the past that we just, unbelievable how we shut them out and how we won the game. But Ardmore, I mean, it just stuns me still, 34-0.
No, I tell you, when they walk out on the field, they are very impressive. Their offensive and defensive lines are huge. They've got the skilled kids. They got a good quarterback, got a great coaching staff. But for whatever reason, the Blue Jays right now, we're having some good karma against Ardmore the last couple of years, and so our kids played extremely hard the other night, faced some adverse conditions. They started off in the first drive and we had nothing on offense, and defense they had a couple of little short drives, and finally we got to throwing the ball pretty decent. I thought Dante Foster had about as good a night as he could have this year or in his career. Just made some spectacular catches and then runs after the catch, which is what's even more important, and so just a great game.
We've seen Durant on their first drive go 82 yards, and Ardmore moved the ball, didn't score on the first drive, and then the defense seems to go to work after that. Is it something that we haven't seen on game film, or is it adjustments?
The other night was a formation. They had not shown that formation, and it was more of a power set, and once we adjusted to it, they had a couple of times where they got behind us with passes and luckily didn't catch them or overthrew and dropped the one. But for the most part, it was stuff that we hadn't seen, and you just kind of fall into it and adjust. And same way on defense, they did a couple of little things differently than what they'd done in the previous films. But once you settle in and adjust, our kids did a really good job.
As you said, Dante had a great game, but I got to think, Coach, with William Bohannon not playing, you insert three new linebackers into the system and didn't miss a beat hardly that I saw anyway.
Brady Blanchard and Pruitt and Landry Chappell just did a fantastic job for us in their rotating. Landry had a couple of big plays, especially that fourth down, I think was probably the big play of the whole night up there. Making it, we were up 7-0 and they were driving, and he come up and was able to make that play. We turned around and went down and scored again to make it 14-0, and so that was a huge play for us on the night. And again, all of them did a great job, Pruitt and Blanchard both.
Offensive line grade out well for second week in a row?
They did all right. We're still, they didn't do as well as they did against Durant. We didn't run the ball like we would want to. We made a couple of nice audibles that got us open, and we ran speed option okay. We ran draw once all right, but passing's still coming along, having to carry us right now, and they're doing a good job there. Still didn't have a whole lot of pressure on the night there, but no, we're still not running the ball to where we want to be. We've worked hard on it. Coach has simplified some things even further, and it's just going to continue to be a work in progress. But they're working hard. The kids are trying. It's just not happening right now. But to still be a working process and be 5-0 is something to be said. So if we get better, we could be really good.
OU Texas did a great job last week. I'm not talking about the week next week. Of course, this week with OU Texas. How's that going in the Blue Jay camp? There's a team next week, but how's that going up here?
Fortunately, we play them every year, and we know that they're there, and we won't worry about them until next week. And Harrah is much better than they were last year, and they do a very good job. They got a great coaching staff. Coach Willis and his staff do as good a job as anybody that we play. Their schemes are always outstanding. They do a very good job on both sides of the ball. They got an outstanding kicker, Lansford, I believe his name, or Lunsford. Very good kicker, probably the best. Well, he's very similar to the Max White kid. He's got a very strong leg and does a great job, and so they're so much better than they were last year, and they're going to come in here with nothing to lose, and they won last week. They're 1-1 in district, and if they can slip up and somehow give an upset, they're in the thick of things then, and so that's what I know they're shooting for. We'll see everything. You'll see reverses. We're going to see some trick plays, I'm sure, because they're going to again empty the playbook this week, I would think, on us, and while they're still in contention.
Coach Willis, you talked about it just a second. What a job he's done. The numbers continue to increase every year.
That's what I look at. He's doing something right down there. Again, the wins are still few and far between for him. I think they were 3-7 last year, but the biggest thing, and I know that talking with him, and again, I got a very good friend, Todd Birch, down there that's their defensive coordinator, and that's what's always happened to them. They'll have pretty good numbers in 7th and 8th grade and 9th grade, but then to high school, they start losing them, and you'll see a bunch of sophomores, and then the next year there's just a few juniors, and then, they'll graduate 7 or 8 seniors a lot of years, and the numbers are outstanding for them this year. I was looking at the roster, and I think they may even have a few more out than us, which they got a few freshmen listed on there there, but I think their roster showed around 55 kids, so that is great numbers for them. Like I say, they're working hard, they're doing them things right, and they're only getting better.
You got to think they're at an advantage. They're, I think, the third smallest school in Class 5A. Meanwhile, you got a team like McGinnis that probably should be in 5A, but they're 4A. So at just the beginning, they're at a disadvantage.
It is. You know, it's like we're saying, with the number of kids that we even have, we probably have about the same number out for athletics that what a lot of the larger 4A schools do, McGinnis being one of them. And for sure, Harrah is going to be in that situation. So, yeah, you know, it's a tough situation, but they're into it, and they do very well in all their sports, and it's they're getting better in football, and Coach Willis is one of the main reasons for it.
Good week of practice. Looks like the offense today got a little bit better. The defense, usually the defense kind of gives it the offense, but it looked like a little turnaround the other way today.
Scout team offense did a pretty good job today. Coach Mick was on fire, I tell you what. Now, the rolling out was a little thing to be seen, but he threw a couple of nice slants in there today.
He threw it away when he had to. Did a great job.
Yeah, I grade him out pretty good as a quarterback this week. I don't know, we wouldn't have ran much option, but we may have ran that power game. That may have been the answer to our in between the tackles.
Coach, appreciate you as always.
All right, thank you.
Head Coach Rafe Watkins, thank you for watching Guthrie Sports Page Television.